What's up, guys? It is Derek from dasedesigns.com. I'm going to be bringing you guys a brand new YouTube tutorial video. In this one, I'll be showing you guys how I create my presentation files and images mainly for social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, my Dribble portfolio that is spelled D-R-I-B-B-B-L-E, so .com, that's 3 B's. In case you're new to the platform or you haven't used it yet, it's a great one to try to get connected with. And anyways, this is for more simple and just fun, creative presentation images. For Behance.net and other bigger portfolio websites like my website as well, I usually create more detailed presentations for logos and identities, really just to break down everything that I made and the concept behind the design and so on and so forth. So anyways, these are made to be fun. I really have a lot of fun and enjoy creating these. It's a lot more creative. It's really just having fun with the logo, that I made and so on and so forth. And this logo design, me and my friend Mason made. Mason Designs. I did the sketching, all the outlining for it, and then he created the vector and everything. It was a collaboration we recently did. So yeah, shout out to Mason. And so we're gonna get started. And we're going to be creating this. I'm going to be creating a different version. I'm going to be having a little bit more fun using some more brushes, really just to go a lot into more depth of what you can do and, how you guys can really be creative with this. So first off, we're going to start off with creating the bottom bar, and I'm going to be deleting everything. So, except for my logo, actually. So yeah, I'm going to be deleting everything. Bang. All right, so usually when I make a new one, I go to File, New, and then document type, clipboard. Where's clipboard? Okay, so clipboard, make sure it's on pixels, sorry. Make sure it's on pickles, guys. Eat your veggies. So 1920 by 1080 is the width and height, and the resolution 300. Do not use 72. It does not look that great. If your computer's slow and you need to use 72, trust me, I know that feeling. I've been there and I'm not there anymore. So now I use 300 all the time. So make sure it's on RGB color, because this will be used mainly for web. If it's for print, CMYK is what you want to use. But anyways, red, green, and blue color for this, and then leave everything else the same, and then click OK. We already have ours. So once you open that, it will look like this. So you'll have a white background, and this one will be locked. So to unlock it, you just click our lock button right there, and then we're going to Control Z. Actually, we'll just start from white. Okay, so I always bring my logo in, but anyways, so we're going to go to our Adobe Illustrator file and hold Control or Command C to copy our logo, and then go back to Photoshop, and then hold Control or Command, and then push V, and that will, click OK, and that's how we get our logo in here. So now I already have our grids made. I'm going to be remaking them because they are incorrect anyway. So now now that that's here, I'm just going to click a quick color for a background, and I'm just going to click the outline color, in this case like a dark blue, and then I click that, so now it's in this box. So hold Alt and then backspace, and that gives us our color. So now I'm going to click on this one, shift up, make that a little bit higher. So now we're going to create our bottom bar. This is where I put my information in. So to create that, push V on your keyboard to give you the move tool, and then click and drag to bring it wherever you want it. That's about perfect for me. So now push M on your keyboard, and that gives you the rectangular marquee tool, and then click outside just so you don't push it right there, which is not where you want it. You want it to cover the whole artboard in regards of where we created our guidelines. So click and drag, and then depending on which color you want it to be, I want it to be black, and usually this rectangle on the right is always black right here. So hold the Control or Command and push backspace as long as this layer is wow. So I forgot to say, make a new layer when you're doing this, and then again back to that, hold Control or Command and then push backspace, and that gives you black. So after that, I always like to create a small another small rectangle right above it, just to add some more color and just make it a little bit different. So we create a new layer, and then we push M on our keyboard again, rectangular marquee tool, and I like mine really skinny, and bam, that's perfect for me. So I want this color to be, I usually pick a color for my logo, and I want it to be this pinkish purple color. So now that I clicked it while pushing I on the keyboard to give you the eyedropper tool, and then you click the color you want it to be, and then hold Alt and backspace, and then bam, we got a Control D to unselect that, and that was a little bit too big, so hold Alt and then use the scroll bar or whatever it's called, I'm not sure, on your mouse, and then push it forward to zoom in, and then we're going to Control T on this purple bar, or whatever color it is, and again we're going to zoom in and then hold Alt so it does it with both sides. We're going to make it a little bit skinnier and then just bring it down. Alright, awesome. So now we're going to create some more guidelines. So now, as you see, we made this one earlier, and make sure to keep that one. So we're going to push M on our keyboard again to give our rectangular marquee tool. We're going to use that one again to create another layer, and then make sure that one is below our bottom bar right here, that's what I call this, and above our background layer. And then we're going to create a new layer right here. Put it whatever color you want, doesn't really matter. We're not really going to be using it. I'm just going to make it the same color as our background. Alt, backspace. And the reason to do this is so when you're on this layer, we can create the proper guidelines. So push Control T, and now you see where the middle of that rectangle is, vertically and horizontally. So now, after pushing Control T, we bring out our guidelines so we can put it directly in the center, so we know where the center of that is, vertically and horizontally, and click Enter. So now we have those, and that is Command or Control semicolon to show and hide those. So now we have all of our guidelines set up. So now we can delete that layer. So now we go to our logo, push Control T, and then now we center it. So now it is perfectly centered, and the reason why I didn't center it where it previously was because we added our bar. So this is pretty much our artboard. This is where all of our effects will be on, and this is where our text will be. So we want our logo to be in the center of this, where all our fun will be. So now we're going to create we got to create the text for this. So we go back to our bottom bar. I'll push T on your keyboard, and then click in the center, and then type whatever you want. I'm gonna put alien mascot for sale, and then push the check mark, Control T, zoom in a little bit, make these bigger, and then bring it to the center. So now we're gonna change the color of this. We're gonna make everything gray. And we're gonna make the sale color, we're gonna put that this brightest. Always choose the brightest color. Alien for sale, and we're gonna put alien white. Really, it's all personal preference for the colors you want it to be. It can be whatever you want it to be. So that's just so certain words stick out. So now we're still on our type layer, and we're gonna hold Alt and Shift, click the left button on your keyboard and drag down, and that is just to create another layer, another type layer that's similar, same size and everything. We're going to change it to whatever you guys want. This is where I put my email and so on and so forth. So DM or email at dasedesigns@gmail.com. Again, this logo is up for sale. If you'd be interested, feel free to reach out to me through those two. So I'm going to make this gray again. And I always change the color. Whoops, forgot that one. Got the letter D. Don't want to forget that. So now I always change my email to the brightest color because I want that to be very visible. And another way to center that is by pushing V on your keyboard, make sure on your type layer, and then pushing Control or Command, hold that, and then push A. That selects your whole artboard. And make sure on the layer you want to center, and then push this one right here, Align Horizontal Centers. Click that, bam, now it's in the center. So now we're going to select both of those layers, Control T, or actually we don't need to, and then just move them down just a little bit so it's in the center of our bottom bar. And I'm going to click all of these. I'm going to put our logo right there as well, and then Control G to group them, call them bottom bar. And then we're going to Control Shift and then the right bracket tool, and that brings it all the way to the top, and then Control Shift left bracket key, and that'll be all the way to the bottom. If you just want to go up one layer at a time, just hold Control or Command and the left and right bracket to bring it up and down. So we want it on the top because we don't want our effects to affect this. We want this to be easily readable and legible and everything. So yeah. Alright, so now to move on, we're going to create a drop shadow for our logo. So mine are already set up. I usually put it on multiply, opacity 50, distance 50, and then size is usually ranges between 50 and 75, sometimes even 25. Really depends on the size of the logo, size of your artboard, and so on and so forth. So this is perfect for this situation. And now I'm going to create a new layer. Oh, sorry. Actually, I'm going to bring in our logo again. So go back to Adobe Illustrator, then Control C or Command C, and then Control or Command V again to paste it in the background. And we're going to scale this one up. I want this one to be fairly big. That's big enough. I really want the eyes to show. So I'm going to bring this to about 12. We'll say 12. 15. Yeah, 15. Okay, so now we're going to create a layer above that, a brush layer. Wrong one. So now just select a soft brush. So to change your brush settings, just click a brush and then hold Control and Alt, and then right click on your mouse and then scroll or drag left and right to change the size, and then up and down for the hardness. So we want this to be soft, so all the way up, and we want it to be about as big as our eyeball right here. The shape of our eye. Make sure the color is white. Almost did a dark gray. And then bam, click there and there. That's great. Actually, the second one looks kind of crappy. Okay, actually I don't like either one. So just make sure it's in the center, so the brightest point is actually on the eye. All right, awesome. So now we're going to put these on overlay. You'll see why soon enough, because I don't want the glow to be that bad. Now I'm going to Control or Command G to do another one of those, and that looks really awesome. I actually like this a lot more than the other one. We're going to put it on the way we had it before though. So we're going to change it back to normal and then put it on to 25. So now the next thing we do is we create a curve layer. I should have looked at my previous curves. So anyways, we're going to create a curve layer. Alright, and we're back. So now for our curve layer, one thing I always do is click here and here. So we're going to bring this one up, and we're going to bring this one over here. And this should be it. For some reason this doesn't look correct. Okay, so make sure recording. Alright, so for our curve layer, sorry guys, going back and forth just to make sure it is right. So I'm going to bring this darkness over here. Now we got it. There we go. Alright, so the dark lines, the outlines got a lot darker, and that's what we want. Okay, so the next thing to do, you can do this, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do any of this actually, this is all just, what I do. So anyways, the next thing I do on top of our big mascot in the background, I click this one right here, this little button right here, and go to black and white, and that makes that background black and white, and then right click on that and create a clipping mask, because I only want that on my layer, or sorry, on my mascot layer. So now we're going to create these highlights are supposed to, oh no, never mind, everything's fine. Okay, so we're going to create a layer above our curve. I always call it mascot curves, a specific one I use for mascot logos. And I'm going to create a gradient. And I'm going to be using specific colors. Whichever colors you want to use is really up to you, depending on the color of your mascot. We're going to choose this purple right there. Sorry, I forgot to click that one. And we're going to click the darkest color in this case. And now make sure it is on the linear gradient right there to the left. Click shift, hold shift, click and drag, and that is the wrong direction. We're going to start from the bottom because I have it on reverse. And there we go. So I believe it was on 25 or 12. Really hard for me to remember right now. It could have even been on overlay, but really, nope. Put it on whatever you feel looks the best. We're going to leave it on 25. And then we're going to create another layer above that one. And we're going to create a brush layer for shadows, or sorry, just to make the bottom a little bit darker. So we're going to choose black and make it a little bit bigger, and then make this darker. Alright, and that's perfect. So we're going to create another one above that, make it white, and then we're going to put it at the top. I'll leave that how it is, and then dang it. Okay, so another layer above that, and then double click on the white, create it, or turn it to overlay. This will bring out our colors more, and even the highlight as well. Let's put the normal layer on 50. You can name these like top highlight normal, and then top highlight overlay. I usually don't do this, but feel free to do it if you'd like. And I have a feeling that I put a purple highlight on the top, so we're gonna go click this one, whichever is your brightest color, and then click the brush tool, and then on a new layer, make sure on the new layer, and push it over everything. put it on top of everything. Why is that happening? Okay, here we go. Bang. I'm gonna double it up, put it on overlay, see what it looks like. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we're gonna create another layer above that. We're gonna do another gradient layer. So click G on your keyboard and click the second one. That is, we want this opacity to be all the way down. Make sure it's on 0 by clicking on the top one. And then double click this and turn them both to black. Alright, so now we go to our center. We already created our guidelines. Click and drag. Make sure it is on not linear but radial, which is the second one. Reverse. Make sure it's on the reverse is highlighted, or check marked right here. And then click and drag, and then bam. So we want this one on top. So now you can see, as you can see, there's too much of the, it's too dark on the top layers, on the top part of this layer. So now we're gonna push E on our keyboard and make it bigger, and then just erase until it's about how we want it to be. Make this one smaller actually. What happens if I go like this? Have to put it over here. Looks terrible. Alright. So we're gonna leave it like this. I actually feel like maybe some of these highlights could be not so bright. Yeah, so this one could be on, say, 15 or so. Maybe 7. These are usually numbers I specifically use, 7, 15, so on and so forth. Alright, so great, it's looking good. Okay, so now we are going to, actually I don't like this color right here. This is the wrong color to use. I'm gonna delete that layer, create another one. I'm gonna click our purple right here. And go back to this layer, B. And then once you have your color selected, what is overlay? Okay, so great. That's more so the color. I'm gonna actually create another one and go back to that one. Again, create a new layer above that one. Then we're gonna create another overlay brush, just like this. The double click's unnecessary. Just once, just to make everything pop a little bit more. And perfect. So now above that, we're gonna go to our mascot layer and start editing this. So another thing I usually do, create another layer above our mascot logo, create a clipping mask, and then just to add more depth to the design, I will add some darkness to the bottom, lightness on the top. So we're gonna start off with the darkness, start off with the black brush, and then go to overlay. That's to darken the bottom portion a little bit. Put it on 25 so it's not too much. Let's say 45. 45, 50, same thing. Alright, so now we're going to create another layer, create a clipping mask, brush, B on our keyboard, turn it to white, and then this is to brighten up the top. Let's try putting this on overlay, see what that looks like. Okay, so that brightens that up a lot. Now we're going to create another layer and bring it in between, so below our overlay layer and then above our bottom shading layer, which is on overlay as well. So we're going to keep this one on normal, then we're going to create a bigger highlight, and this is just to make it stick out a little bit more, and we're going to keep it on normal. We can actually, this one actually isn't necessary. If you want it, then use it. If not, I completely understand, because I may not use it myself. This is sometimes what I do use, however. So above this, we're going to create our highlights for our eyes to make it look like it's glowing. Same thing we did to the background. I really love doing this, especially when there's no pupil on the mascot. And that's one reason why I don't use pupils, just so I can make the eyes glow, just so they look like they're glowing in Photoshop. So push white, click white on our keyboard, the white color, and make sure again our brush is the same size as the widest part of the eye, and then click on there. Whoops, didn't mean to right click, so left click on there on both of the eyes. I feel like that one could be a little bit higher. Okay, so now we're going to bring it down to 50. That is perfect, even better. Awesome. So now our eyes look like they are shining. Maybe bring this down a little bit to 12, maybe 75, even 50. Try 12 on this one. Nope. Put this to 75, the overlay layer. And like I said, this is really just me being picky, so feel free to be picky on your own time, on your own designs. and you know, just to make it look perfect in the way you would like it. So now that's pretty much done, but now we're gonna have even more fun. So we're gonna go above our black and white layer, make sure it's on top of our mascot, and now we're gonna create a scratched and blood splatter brush effect. And this is one thing I really like doing to make it look really grungy and nitty and gritty and dirty, and you know, so on and so forth. So right now I'm going to click, where is it? The scratches number 2. This one is one of my favorite ones. I've been using these for quite a while. So I'm gonna make a scratched effect on color, put it on black. Alrighty, so now we're going to erase some of these. I don't want it to be too much, and see what they look like on overlay. Okay, so maybe not the scratches for this one, so we're gonna try the blood splatter. These are the ones I use the most. I recently used this in a Behance portfolio project for the Alive mascot that I did the shading and coloring tutorial on, and I used a lot of these on there. That was my favorite part, honestly. So we're gonna use this one. This one's kind of scattered, so I'm gonna just place them wherever I would like them. Really just testing things out to see how it works. Wrong one. Blood splatter was last. Okay, so this one's like a scattered splatter. Splatter. All right, so that one's pretty good. So now we're gonna be erasing it. I don't want it to be too much on the face, and we're gonna put it on overlay, and then we're gonna bring down the opacity to about 50. Not 50. Okay, wrong one. So this should be overlay as well. I should just connect both of these. Let's bring this one back up to 100, just so we can put them on the same one. Now we'll bring it all down to 25. Okay, and this, as you can see, it just subtle details like this I really like doing, just to create a little bit more on the picture. So now we're gonna put this one onto overlay as well. Bring it back down to 25. And again, you don't have to do these. I'm just creating these just because I like it. So these are supposed to be on overlay. Okay, so now they're both on overlay. And I'm actually gonna erase some that was at the top right here. It's kind of unnecessary. All right, so boom, looks great. All right, so next up, one thing I'd like to do is put sparkles over the eye, somewhat like sparkles. So we're going to put these below. So create a layer above that. And this is really just, just testing out what looks cool. This is like a dust brush that I made a while back. I'm using the wrong color. We need white. And see how this looks. Really just testing things out at this point. Alright, so we're gonna skip that. Alright, so it's pretty much finished at this point. Everything after this is really up to you, whatever you guys feel works best. For any of these brush tools that I've used, I do have some packs. If you would like to purchase them and use them, feel free to check in the description below. If not, that's fine. But anyways, this is pretty much good to go. This is about what mine usually look like. Sometimes I'll go way more into depth, especially for YouTube videos when I'm creating them for thumbnails and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope you guys like this tutorial, and I hope this helped you guys out. Feel free to use this similar style, and also create your own for your own mascot logos and just logos and illustrations in general. I hope this helped you guys out. Feel free to let me know what you guys would like to see in the next YouTube tutorial and speed art, in the comments below. Feel free to check me out on social media like Twitter. I'm the most active on there, as well as my Snapchat. I do a lot of behind the scenes for video creation and content creation and stuff like that, especially for my client logos and mascot design and so on and so forth. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helped you guys out. and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.